Hi, hello, and how are you? My name is Lissa, and you're watching Lissa Is Here. And today I have a very interesting video for you because right now I feel like I'm about to cry, and I can't guarantee I'm not going to cry. I wasn't intending to start off this video with crying. I really wasn't. And honestly, I've been debating even if I was going to make this video or not. I didn't know if anyone would care. I wrote a whole script, but I'm filming this on my phone, and the only other place I can access the doc that I wrote it in is on my tablet, and my tablet is currently dead and charging, so hopefully that will charge and I'll be able to film or record using the script and edit it together with that. But I need to start trying to film something because I'm only going to be able to have so much time to film, and it just feels important to just talk. Today I want to talk about depression and grief. Grief is when you lose someone or you're grieving something, you know, a person, a pet, an idea, a plan. And depression is sometimes it can be brought on by like a specific event, like losing someone, like grief. That could be when it's brought upon. And then for other people, depression is just something that you have. There's not something that is the inherent culprit that caused it. It's just a chemical imbalance in your brain. That's me. That's what I have. I'm depressed. I have depression. I have for a very long time. But I have always been afraid to say the word because I feel like words hold power. I mean, I'm a writer. Other writers would probably agree with me that the words you use have a sense of power to them. The way you describe things, the detail that you add to a story can make or break it. And for me personally, I've always been kind of afraid to use the word depressed in the same sentence of myself, or in the same context of myself, I should say. I've always been afraid to do that for one reason or another. I think one reason might have been I was afraid of not being quote unquote bad enough to need help or to like it be a serious enough issue. But who am I to figure out what is and isn't bad enough, quote unquote? I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor in any way, shape, or form. And I do not have any... I do not have the right to declare what is and isn't bad enough. And that is something that I've had to learn and try to conceive in my brain. And it's been really hard. I don't want to be the type of person to blur the lines on like what I keep personal and what I put out there online, because that's my biggest fear. Is I don't know how I don't know what this will turn into. Right now I have a small, wonderful, kind, open community, but I don't know if the longer I do this that will change or what. I want to be able to grow as a creator and to reach more people and help people and inspire people. And I don't know what my future holds. And so I get worried about what I do and don't share, but I feel like my audience does not know me personally. Most people who only watch my short form content and videos don't even know what I sound like. If you're coming from TikTok or Instagram or even just my YouTube shorts, I don't ever have my voice in my videos, and I haven't for the past year and a half that I've been doing this. So it's like a fine line of figuring out what to share and what not to share. But I almost didn't want to share any of this. I almost didn't want to make this video, but then I had that little voice in the back of my head telling me that if it could just help that one person, if only one person saw me, heard me speak, and felt a little less alone, then I would have done my job. I would have done what I set out to do, and I would be complete, basically. Like, I mean, I still have a million things I wish to do, obviously, but it goes all the way back to when I was 15, being 15 and struggling so much with being queer and thinking I was going to go to hell and thinking I wasn't deserving of anything. Terrified of what would happen when people found out. Like, the truth is, I am a very fortunate person because my family is very accepting and loving. But there's always been a select few that I've always been unsure of, and it made me really, really scared. And I had a lot of built up, like, religious trauma, I guess. I don't know what it was, but I was like so scared. So scared. Probably like yeah. But I channeled those feelings. I channeled those feelings of fear and insecurity and hopelessness and just grief at what I might potentially lose for being queer. I channeled that into my book, into my novel that I've been writing since I was 15. And all of those feelings I put into what I wrote. And anytime I was going through a hard period and I wanted to give up or I couldn't figure something out, because it was my first time ever writing a book like this, and it was my first time ever properly like figuring out how any of that worked. Anytime I felt like giving up, I just kept telling myself this one thing over and over again, and that was, if I do this and one kid, one adult, one person from any background, age, gender, or identity, anything, if just one person read this and felt seen, felt understood, and felt like they were going to be okay, then that was enough for me. And so that is why I am here today in front of this camera, because of that same voice in my head telling me that if I can make one person feel better, one person not feel as alone for however they may or may not be feeling, then I want to do that. Because I see my community, I know who my community is, I know who watches me. It's mostly people who are in their teens, age 13 to 18, around that. That's my main demographic at this point in time. And I see my followers, I see my subscribers on different platforms, and I interact with them, and I view their pages and stuff because there's some really, really talented people in my community. And I see kids who don't feel loved, who don't feel like they are enough, who do things that I can't stop them from doing. And it eats me alive knowing that these people look up to me and there's nothing I can do to help them, to help you. I'm just one person on the internet who makes prompts to help inspire writers. But I write in my prompts what I am feeling and how I am feeling. From the music to however I act. I mean, there's times I've been literally crying in my videos because I'm just channeling whatever I'm feeling out into the medium I choose to create in. And it's an expression of my soul, and it's an art form for me, and I truly love it. And I would choose 100 times over to continue doing what I am doing with all of this. I wish I had the words to say to some of these, honestly, kids in my community that I have seen struggling. All I can say is that you are so very loved. So completely loved. And I cannot begin to express to you how grateful and appreciative I am of every single person who chooses to support me and my channel and growing what I am building here, because it is beautiful. You are beautiful people, inside and out. Y'all's souls are just, you're beautiful, okay? The reason I'm very sad right now has to do with my depression, but it has more to do with the fact that I lost someone close to me a few months ago. And it's the first time I've lost someone this immediate and this personal. And someone younger. I've lost pets before, and I've lost grandparents, but I was very young when my grandparents passed. Great-grandparents. I was very young when my great-grandparents died. And I understood what was happening, but I remember feeling more sad for my dad that he had lost his grandparents, who he had been so close with and who helped raise him, who did raise him. I remember feeling sad on behalf of my dad because I wasn't able to fully understand. I understood, I just wasn't able to connect to the emotions for myself, if that makes sense. And I remember feeling bad about that. I was like 5 years old, and I remember feeling bad about the fact that I wasn't sad when my great-grandpa died. I was sad, but I wasn't sad that he was gone. I was sad that my dad had lost him. And I guess that's normal for a kid, but it really fucked with me, because it made me feel like I was detached. And then as I got older, I lost pets. I lost pets in some very tragic ways, and it hurt. But I had convinced myself that I needed to be strong and I needed to hold it together, because I'm an older sister. I have a younger sister, and she's older now, but she wasn't older at this point. She was little still. We were both young, but she was young. Very young. And when you are an older sibling, it is naturally ingrained in you to want to be stronger and to keep it together for them so they don't worry. I mean, she was always going to mourn and she was always going to hurt because of what happened and what we lost. But I tried my absolute hardest to hold myself together and not cry in front of her because I felt like she needed me. And I honestly needed myself to be strong. And I just couldn't talk about it because it made everyone upset to talk about it. And then a few months ago, I don't know how to feel. I have been around sickness my whole life. I've been around death. I've been around a lot of different things. But nothing prepares you to lose one of the last people you would ever expect for something to happen to. Someone young, someone healthy, someone with kids and a future. Someone who is going to get married. Someone who had been there your entire life. For 18 fucking years of your life and years before you were ever even thought of. Someone who was there when your name was picked out. Nothing can prepare you for literally the sun disappearing. Nothing. And I've struggled with the feeling of not being deserving of mourning who has been lost to this world, because I was not as close to them as other people I know were. Other people who I know are hurting horribly. But I can't help it that every single night I dream and I see their face. Some nights they're nightmares. Some nights they're dreams that are great because I get to see them again. Get to say goodbye. In a blink of a moment, you never know what's going to happen. You never know who you're going to lose. And this was an accident. It was not supposed to happen. I cannot think of anyone who was more deserving of having a long, fulfilling, amazing life than who I lost. Who this world lost. Who my world lost. Who their world lost. Everyone in my community was touched by this person in one way or another because they were literally the sun sign reincarnate. They were just full of joy and love and kindness. It's like I said, they were the sun. I know I am entitled to grieve. And I know it's normal for people to feel guilty for grieving and feel like they aren't deserving of grieving someone. It's been so hard because I didn't think I would still be grieving. Like, I knew I would still be hurting. I knew I would still be sad, but I never even actually thought of a reality where this would be something that happened. And it's made me realize how fragile life is and how closely you just need to keep the people you love in your heart and tell people that you love them and that you care about them. I don't know how I'm going to feel about having this video online. I am not saying any details or anything specific because this person deserves complete and utter privacy. Family and friends and everyone close deserves privacy. And so I'm only saying how I feel in the absence of them from this earth, because it has been eating me alive and I have people to talk to, but it's hard because they're all people who were so closely connected as well to what was lost, who was lost. And it's hard because I'm the type of person that if someone else starts crying, I just want to stop myself from crying and help comfort them, because they lost someone that was even closer to them than I did. And then I feel guilty. And it's this never-ending cycle. I am here because I'm really, really sad. And it's only a moment in time. A moment that feels like forever. But it's not forever. It just feels like that. Because the sun will rise upon the day, and I will wake up from my dream, and I might feel sad, I might hurt, but I'll get myself up and out of my bed, and I will carry on my day. Because that is what you do. You fight. And you fight and you fight and you fight until you feel like you're not fighting as much as you had to before. Every day until you feel a little bit of that weight lift off. I have days where I am bad, where I am sad, where I'm angry and hurting and frustrated. I have days where I just stay in bed all day because I just can't. I can't do anything. But those days are fewer and farther in between than they used to be. Before I started antidepressants, before I finally came to terms with the fact that I'm struggling, that I'm not okay, that I'm hurting. The truth of the matter is my medicine helped me, and that was the thing that I was most afraid of, because I was afraid of how I would change, or I was afraid of needing it. I was afraid of needing to be on medicine. I was afraid of admitting to myself that I needed help. And I still keep too much to myself, and I still don't say how I feel enough, because it's really, really hard. It is the hardest thing to open up and tell people what is going on. Especially those closest to you, especially your loved ones, because how on earth are you supposed to look your mother in the eye and tell her how sad you are? How are you supposed to explain to your sisters or anyone, friends? I can be in a room full of people who I love and who I know love me, and I feel completely and utterly hollow inside and alone. Thankfully, up until today, I had not been feeling that hollowness. inside of me that I used to feel constantly since I started taking my medicine. But because today is just a particularly bad day for me, I feel really fucking hollow inside. And I feel really sad because whenever my brain tries to just process anything that has happened in the last few months in my life, it's been a whirlwind. I feel like I'm trapped in a tornado that never stops spinning. I'm not in the eye of the hurricane, because if I was in the eye, things would be calm, at least in the immediate. I haven't gotten to any sense of calmness. My brain has not been able to process anything. Anytime my brain starts to try to process anything that I've gone through recently, it shuts down because it's too much to handle. I'm going to be going to therapy. I'm going to be starting therapy hopefully very soon. My doctor and I have been talking about it, so we'll have to see when I'm able to actually get in. But I'm hoping that's the first steps in this next chapter, if you will. I hope that if there is any singular thing that any of you take from this video, I hope that it is the point that you are so loved, you are so important to this world. Your very existence is enough. You do not need to prove yourself. You don't need to prove yourself to another person, to an organization, to anyone and anything. Not even like God, if you believe in a God. The universe, nothing. You are a living, breathing human being, and you are enough, and your very existence is right. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough. You are righteous. Again, if you're religious, or if you struggle with religion, if you believe in a God, which I do not believe in a singular God, I believe in something, but I don't believe in a singular Christian doctrine God, if that makes sense. I don't believe in that. But if you do, or you're like me and you believe that there could be a plethora of different things out there that look over people and care in any sense of the word, then you should know that you do not have to prove yourself to them. You do not need to prove yourself to God or to a God or any gods. You don't need to prove yourself to the universe, to Earth, Mother Nature, your ancestors, anything. You are living for yourself. You are the only person that is going to be with yourself from the moment you are born to the moment that you die. And you need to get to the point where you are able to not love yourself per se, but accept yourself, because would you rather be miserable and hate yourself for the rest of your life, or find a comfortability with neutrality? I know I would rather be neutral and not self-loathing. And I hope you feel the same way about yourself. Because the truth of the matter is, your eyes are such a harsh critic upon yourself. I know mine are. I know people close to me who view themselves a lot harsher than I think people would otherwise view them. It honestly wasn't until I started posting myself on social media where I actually could feel like I was actually pretty, beautiful, even if I will. I felt confidence, but I would feel more confidence about my clothing before I started social media. When I actually started posting to social media, I gained this outlook, if that makes sense. you get people's opinions on you from an outside perspective and how you are viewed. And most of the time, it's always been very sweet and kind and genuine. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. I hope if someone claims to be perfect, bitch, run the opposite way. I'm sorry. I don't trust a motherfucker who says they're perfect. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. One day at a time. One day at a time. We keep fighting. We keep trying. We keep loving unconditionally. Because at the end of the day, all we have is each other. We have our word. We have love, compassion, empathy. We are human beings, and these are what we are capable of. Honestly, just anyone who has any stories that they want to share about themselves or their struggles, I promise you that the comments are a safe place to just vent, to open up, to talk, to find people for support. I have a Discord server for our community. There's only a few people on it, my friends and stuff, but the link is there and you can always join. We are a very creative bunch of people. We are writers, artists alike, and we just hang out and we post what we want to post, you know? And I would love to have you join us and to talk and open up and express yourself creatively in however way you see fit. That continues to bring joy and positivity and sunshine into this world, because we need more sunshine. Everybody deserves to have a sun, the sun, sunshine in their life. Think of the song, I'm walking on sunshine, oh, walking on sunshine. Yeah. Everyone deserves to have something like that. And if you can't fight for yourself, if you feel like you just cannot get yourself out of bed, then fight not for yourself. Fight for something you love. Fight for something you believe in. Whether it's someone's, a cause, friends, family, pets, your education, your future career. If you really feel like you don't have any of that and you still feel like you can't fight, then fight for the sunshine. Fight for every single ray of sunshine there is in this world. Because you yourself are sunshine, and even if you cannot see it, other people can, and this world needs the sun. I need the sun. I am not the sunshine. I am more midnight rain. I am what happens when the sky cries and releases those emotions. The constellations, the cosmos, the galaxy, the universe as a whole, night sky. I am midnight. I am the rain. I am a thunderstorm that little girls hide from. I have so much love and support and community around me. You guys are my sun sign. My sister is my sun sign. Everyone has a sun sign. And if you don't have a sun sign, you will have a sun sign because you deserve a sun sign. And if you yourself are a sun sign, some of you might find another sun sign. And then some other of y'all who are sun signs might also find your midnight rain. Please remember that you are so incredibly loved, and I appreciate you guys so much and all of your support. I hope you stay. If you want to stick around and be a part of the hereabouts, then make sure to subscribe and like this video to help promote it out into the algorithm. I don't know if you can hype this video. I might be too small of a creator for that. If you can hype this video, you can hype it, and that would be tremendous. It helps promote small creators and boost their content out into the algorithm so they can grow even more. I just want you to know you're loved. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.